So this is a Bailey Ranger 464. I'm going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. The front of the van, the handbrake, jockey wheel and hitch is something we'll demonstrate to you in person here on site, and the connection to the car. Front of the van, you've got your gas regulator on the bulkhead with your gas connection coming off the top and your gas bottle tie downs in the front. You've got your wind down leg on each side of the van at the front, and that is to stabilise the caravan while it's on site. You would never lift the caravan off the ground with these legs. The motor mover will be demonstrated to you before you leave site here, just so you can see it's all operational and you get a demonstration of how that works. The wheel nuts will also be torqued, so you can see they have been tightened correctly in line with the manufacturer's guidelines. Inside the van, you've got the fridge vents for the van, and that allows hot air out the side of the fridge unit, and also the top one has a gas flue behind it for when you're operating the fridge on gas. You've then got your grey waste pipes where your two grey pipework will pop into and go down to the waste master, and that's the drain for the water that goes through this through the sink and the shower itself. No toilet liquid comes through there. You've then got your water pump connection on the side of the van, which drops down into the aqua roll, and that is for your fresh water system on board the van. The white cover you see just here is a flue cover for the heating and hot water systems, and you would need to remove that before you ignite anything on gas. The back of the van, you've got your storage locker to access the storage underneath the bed at the rear of the van. On the rear of the van, you've also got your wind down legs on either side, as you can see. On the far left hand side, on the door side of the caravan, should I say, sorry, at the back of the van, you've got your toilet flush tank, which takes 3.5 litres of fresh water and a cap full of the pink fluid. Then in the bottom toilet locker, you have the toilet waste cassette itself. You release it by pulling up the orange handle and pulling the cassette towards you, and then you've got your toilet neck here where you can tip the waste out of to allow the waste to tip out of the cassette. The grey cap here is a measure for the toilet fluid itself, which would be the blue fluid, which you'd put 1 litre of water in here and a cap full of the blue fluid prior to use. On the back of the toilet cassette, you've actually got a blue pressure relief button, so when you're tipping the waste away, it doesn't spit and splatter back at you. You've got your battery locker, which you'll simply open up, and your mains power lead will go in the side, and behind here you'd put your battery also, and you can lock that away while you're on site. You've then got your wind down leg again on the other side of the van at the front. Going inside the van, as you go in the door, you've got your main lights for the outside. You've got your main power switch for the caravan, so you'd need to turn this on so you get power to the inside of the van. You've got your light switch for the internal lights, as you can see, just there. You've got your awning light for the outside of the caravan, and you've got your water pump run. So to fill the water system, which is the first major job you're going to do on the van once the power's connected, etc. on the outside and the water's connected, is you're going to come underneath the seat at the rear of the caravan, just here, lift up the bed, and you'll find a yellow valve down on the floor on the left hand side of the screen. That yellow valve is a drain down valve for the water system. When that valve is parallel with the floor, you'll be able to fill the water system up on board the van, and when it's pointing upright towards the bottom of the seat, you'll be able to drain the water system down on board the van. Now that drain down valve, like I said, will need to be parallel with the floor before you turn on the water pump to fill the water system up from the aqua roll. To fill the water system, you'll come over to each tap on board the caravan, open all the taps up on the hot side, where you can see at the moment there's a little bit of air in the system, as you can see. But once that water pump has got the air, well, once the air is out of the system, all of the taps will have water coming out of them. As you'll see, we've got water coming out of the tap in the kitchen area itself. That's because that one has already got all the air out of the system, but you're going to need to open them all up before you turn the water pump on. So I'm going to leave that tap open for a minute so you can see when the system is filled that the water runs out freely. But once you've got all the taps open, you can come over to the control panel by the door and press the water pump power on, as you can see there. While the water system's filling, I'm just going to take you through the fridge operation, which is very simple. You've got gas operation for the fridge just here, And to ignite it, you'll press in the temperature button on the right hand side and hit the igniter at the same time. Once it's ignited, the little orange line just here on this window will come round into the green to let you know it has ignited. So essentially this is your pilot light. 240 mains, you'll put it onto 240 just here, so you can run on 240 volts when you're on a powered site. And then if you want to run the fridge on 12 volt from the car you're towing with, so it operates as a toolbox, you can spin the dial round to the 12 volt option on the left hand side. Now as I come back to the tap, you'll see the water system is now full, and we'll turn off each tap once the system is full. One last thing, sorry, on the 12 volt system of the fridge, it is a cool box rather than a fridge at that point, so it will only chill the fridge, not completely freeze up the ice compartment or anything like that. To turn the fridge off, you'll spin it back round to the off position just here. With the water system full, you can warm the water up on 240 mains, which is the water switch just down here, so when that's turned on, as it is at the moment, the water system will start warming up on electric. If you want to operate the water system on gas, you have a dial just behind the cooker, which you can turn to the flame symbol just here, which will then self-ignite the gas system, and the green light behind here indicates that it has ignited on gas, or it's trying to ignite on gas. As you can see, it's failed to ignite at the moment just due to the fact we haven't got a gas bottle on the van. Once it has ignited, you can control the water temperature between 30 and 70 degrees, and you would use this for a boost if you're on an electrical site where you're using 240 mains to warm the water system. On the water heating on electric, it will actually only warm up to around 40 degrees of water temperature, hence why you use the gas supply to use the boost feature. To operate the heater on the caravan, on the right hand side of the actual room heater, on the right hand side of the door as you walk in, you've got the dial just here. You've got 500, 1000 and 2000 watt down the side. To warm the heater on electric, you'll spin the dial to either the 500, 1000 or 2000 depending on what caravan site you're on. And you'll also have this switch turned on just here. If that switch isn't on, you won't have any power going to the control for the heater itself or the heater down below. To control the temperature on electric, you've got between 1 and 9 on the dial on the left hand side. The higher you go, the hotter the heater will be. If you want to use blown air heating on board the caravan, so essentially around the van you have the little vents coming out, which are somewhere around the van, can't see any at the moment. Oh, there we go. One just down there. You'll be able to use the blown air heating, which is controlled on this dial on the right hand side. You have the fan speed, a bit like you've got in the car, between 1 and 5 just here. The higher you go, obviously the quicker the fan will blow. The dot in the centre indicates the heat is going to come out the front of the heater. However, if I put the switch over to the wave symbol, that'll be continuous blown air. And if I put it over to the A on the right hand side, that is ambient temperature. So essentially the heater will cut in and out with the thermostat on board the van. On the left hand side, you have your dial for igniting the heater on gas. So you can spin this dial round to between 10 and 9 on the dial on top. Hold down the gas valve and hit the igniter on the left hand side. Once it has ignited on gas, down in this window just down here, the pilot light will be visible at around a 45-degree angle. And when you have got it ignited and the pilot light's lit, you'll continue to hold down the gas valve for around a further 5 to 10 seconds to allow the thermocouple to warm up. Once it has warmed up, after them 5 to 10 seconds, you can slowly release the gas valve and then just keep an eye on the pilot light for a few seconds longer in that window, just to make sure it has ignited and it has stayed ignited as you'd expect it to. To turn the gas supply back off, you'll spin it round to the 0 and it'll isolate the gas to the heater itself. One of the last things on board the van we're going to go through is the toilet system. On the top of the toilet, as I said, from the outside, you fill up the flush tank from the outside. You've got an electric flush on top with the blue button. Then underneath the toilet just there, you've got that grey handle. The grey handle will need pulling towards us to allow the toilet waste to go in the cassette under the van. Also, as you can see, the toilet does turn for your convenience to allow easier access. However, when you are emptying the waste cassette from under the van, you will need to make sure this toilet cassette or the toilet top is turned. It's turned so it's pointing across to the wall on this side of the van. Once you've done that, you'll be able to release the cassette from under the van and tip the waste away as needed. Around the van, you'll actually see you've got individual light switches for everything as you'd expect to see. I hope this video has been of some help. If you have any problems, please do give us a call here at the Caravan Company and we'd be more than happy to help. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.